That's the gap between the train and the platform.
No, we're fine. Mines are so cute.
People of both there. Why is a regular ice latte a limited time only item? Oh, they have fraps. I like my fraps. I like them even more when they cost $2. That kind of fake money.
I have their very expensive long ice. Why not this one?
once again. Makes the people swap.
Yes, they did. It's massive.
Imagine making 30k a year.
Well, these are castles.
Yeah, the Pembroke Villa is like.
We're gonna move well. Should I get that one or that one? For rugby.
Because we don't have those in America. Or even here. And I'll sacrifice the monkeys because
I thought you love monkeys.
luxury usein. You thought your life is ruined. The spoon disappears from your video printer.
Oh, you're right. Alright.
Fucking naked little boys in the...
Boop boop.
It's Harry's cafe open. You can have an empty room where nobody can go. They are. And who could buy Scampen?
We have all of them. What do you mean no one's gonna take me seriously?
I don't like that one from Oporto. A golden.
Okay.
They have a chocolate fry for basically. How we know which one the freshest.
You don't.
Help. Nothing wrong per se.
Oh, okay.
Other than the price. Free lobster.
You don't like it?
They also have matcha tiramisu for you.
Oh. Doesn't matter, they're the same. It was not bad.
Your favorite stuff? Like such a potato sack crowd.
I know. I'd be a cool potato sack though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's not just me. Is this what you dream of?
Not very traditional, but okay. That would be a cheese sauce.
It is a weird cheese sauce.
I know. Don't be.